khatam kiya. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, Allah bless you. Kept it away. Other one will come. Okay, kitne Quran tu khatam kiya Ramadan? Main 20 pari. I holier than thou. Maybe, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. I can't judge anyone, but this is the trend. And you hear Sheikh Shuraim reading. You read Sheikh Sudais. How can that Maulana's Dane escort tell you, okay, Yero don't know what's happening? Oh, they're reading so beautifully, yes. But they're working for a monarchy. When the Quran says you must have a caliphate, when the Prophet said you must have a caliphate, they're working for a monarchy. The most petrodollars in the world in Jewish banks are from the Saudi Arabia. So aren't the Quran just being mechanically read? Mechanically read? You don't believe me that the Arab money is the most money in the Jewish banks? You don't believe me? I'm asking you a question. Which hotel you like to go when you go Umrah? Oberoi? What Oberoi? We don't know because we stay in As-Salam, Ham Salami Wale. Oberoi? Hilton? Who owns the Hilton and Oberoi? Who? Let me hear it. Zionists, who? Yes. But they'll tell you, don't drink Coke, buy. Yeah, but we're driving Chrysler. And do the poster for the masjid. You know, the Istima is coming, we'll have to tell the guys about Coke, but on Microsoft Word. You know why? Gaddas, you all told us all this haram, all this knowledge is haram. Same Gaddas. And if you got dollars, don't worry, bring it, I'll change it for you. But don't drink Coke. Mechanically, right? Right or wrong? Let's not fool ourselves, come on. Okay? Then, Masajiduhum Amiratu Wahya Kharabum. Allahu Akbar. Their masjids will be grand structures. But devoid of guidance. Now tell me, you saw the sliding roof? Grand. Aircon system? Grand. Huh? And another hadith said it will be full. No ibadat. Because only tijarat is happening there. Business. If I go that mosque, Mota will see him, he'll give me for 30 days, 40 days. Let's be honest, come on. Come on. What guidance came out of the mud walls of Masjid-un-Nabawi? What guidance came out of the pebbles that they were reading on in Khaja Sahib's masjid? What guidance came out of the palm leaves that were used as a roof structure for Masjid al-Awliya in Pak Patan? That guidance is not coming out from these Wahhabi masjids today. And neither is it coming out from our Sunni masjids today. Why only pick them out? Because we have turned our masjids into battlegrounds for ourselves. We're tired of fighting with everyone else. So fighting has become part of our nature now. So we all must fight. So you like it or you don't like it, you come and talk to me later. This is the truth I'm telling you. Then, but the worst part is to come. Listen to it. This is the final part of the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ulama'uhu, Ulama'uhum shar man tahta. Allahu Akbar. It's frightening. He said the religious scholars, the alims, ulama, illa mashallah. He didn't say that, I'm saying it. Because they are great alims, there are exceptions to every rule. But he said the alims, will be the worst creatures on the face of the earth. Not even human beings. What he said? Creatures. You know, in your toilet, when you put the toilet duck to clean the venom, that's also creatures. Or the Prophet said, it'll be worse than that also. Because fitna, mischief will come out of them. And it will return to them. It's a bit intense for you, this lecture. Heavy. Heavy. You want Nara Takbir? Okay. Think. I want you to think. This is our duty. This is our duty. Think. What fitna means? Tests and trials. छोटे-छोटे चीज पर फतवे लगाएंगे. It's happening. 100,000 people stood in front of the Holy Prophet on the day of the final Hajj in Arafah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "O my people, what day is this?" Amongst them was Babul Ilm, Hazrat Ali. Amongst them was the greatest man on whom the sun ever shone, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. Amongst them was that person who the Holy Prophet said, if there was to be a prophet after me, it would have been Umar al-Faruq. Allahu Akbar. Not one of them opened their mouths. You know what they said? And I'm asking you, if they made Qurbani that day, and the Prophet said, what day is this? What they would have said? What you would have said? The day of Eid. Because yesterday we came from Arafah. You know what they said? Allah and His Rasul know best. He pointed from Mina and he pointed towards Makkah. What city is that? Allah and His Rasul know best. What month is this, oh my Sahaba? How many thousand Sahaba there? 100,000 plus. What month is this? What month it was? Zil-Hijjah. The month of Hajj. Why they said Allah and His Rasul know best? This is submission. What this is? And they know this is the Rasul of Allah. If he had to say, Ya Allah, make it Muharram, Allah would have changed the month. हुक्म नाफिस है तेरा, सेफ तेरी कामा तेरा, दम में जो चाहे करे या रसूल, दो रहे शाह तेरा. And you know, from the 100,000 people, only 12 could write their name. How many could write their name? And only 7 gave fatwa. Legal rulings, and frightened to give in legal ruling. Somebody came by Hazrat Umar, he sent him by Hazrat Abu Bakr. Somebody came, sent him by Talha. Somebody came by, sent him by Zubair. They're frightened. They're frightened to give fatwa. Today, left, right, center. Flying. He out fatwa'd everyone out of Islam. And in fact, I'm the only Muslim left now. Because first was only my Jamaat. Now it became only my mosque. And in my mosque too, I doubt these musallis. Only the Imam I trust a little bit. But him too lately, I'm getting a little bit of doubt about him. So who's the only Muslim left? Me. मैं अन्ना खरा हो गया, नफ्स का धोखा है ये. Nafs. Ana khayrum minhum. This is the Sufi part. Listen, I'm coming to the Sufi part now. If you think this situation, I'm the doomsday talk I'm giving you today. What day? Doomsday. Listen nicely. Sahih Bukhari, read of the hadith? Hadith kitab? They say second most authentic book after Holy Quran. Listen. And this hadith, what I'm quoting, is mutawatir. Now what mutawatir means, not one person said this. Many, many people said the same thing they heard the Prophet said. So there's no doubt about this. You understand? Multiply transmitted. On the last day of judgment, Allah will say, Adam alayhi salam, come here. My first man and Nabi, come here. He say, all your children, separate them for Jannat and Jahannam. What you must do? Separate them for Jannat and Jahannam. He says, oh my Allah, how many of my children for Jannat and how many for Jahannam? So Allah will say, out of every 1,000, take 999 and put them in Jahannam. So how many for Jannat? 1. If you're a betting man, you got 1,000 to 1 shot here. You seriously think, we like laughing at ourselves. Yeah, we like. You know that? That's why people like stand-up comedy. This is sit-down comedy. This is sit-down seriousness, I'm telling you something. How many for Jannat? 1. But he smiled. The companions of the Prophet were terrified. They were frightened when he said this. They didn't laugh. They were scared. Who's scared? Sahaba. But the Prophet ﷺ said, Bushra lakum. Good news for you. He said, why? Ya Rasulullah. The ones for Jannat will be the ones who are from you and like you. Now, the 100,000, tell me, only 12 could write their name. They all went Darul Ulum? I'm asking you a simple question. Tell me yes or no. They went Darul Ulum? All became Maulanas there? If they couldn't write their name, what we'll call them in today's world? The illiteracy rate is very great. But not one, the greatest wali can't come near one of them. Why? And what we call them in Arabic, what is their name? Sahaba. What they called? Now the people will say, Sahaba are those who saw the Holy Prophet with their eyes and accepted Islam. Now there were Sahaba that were externally blind. So with which eye did they see the Prophet? Do you know that? You know that? The word Sahaba comes from the word Sohba. What word? What Sohba means? You know, old people should say, I'm bringing back memories for some people who lost their parents, mother. Listen, and good people. They'll say, Achhe ki sohbat mein raho, acha ban jayege. Kharab logo ki sohbat mein rehge, kharab ban jayege. Urdu has taken many words from Arabic. What sohbat means then? Company. What it means? Company. It didn't. So whose company were these people in? So what gave them the greatness? Knowledge? Namaz? Roza? Zakat? Hajj? What gave them the greatness? Whose company? So Ya Rasulullah, what did you have in you that your company made a Jewish boy who used to straighten your shoes in Masjid al-Nabawi and only pour water for you just to do little work in the mosque so he collects something? You know, battlers, we have them today. Slavery, apartheid is gone from the statute books. But it exists in our society. Tell me, who's the lowest paid people in the mosques? Yeah, who?